welcome to you both. Nice to see you. So, levelling up is the big subject today. The government are unveiling their plans to reduce the inequality between the regions in our country. The criticisms are that there's no new money, that council budgets have been slashed since 2010. The Labour Party states a load of rehashed announcements and slogans. Why are they wrong, Derek?
Well, I think if we thought that councils were the answer to giving everybody the opportunities they need, then maybe I'd agree with that. But actually, what this levelling up hopefully must do and needs to do for Cornwall and for other parts of the country is actually create the opportunities that other people enjoy elsewhere. And so in Cornwall, the first thing I said in my maiden speech in 2015, the same as Sir John Knott said in 1966, was the average wage in Cornwall was about a third less of the average wage of anyone working across England. So we need to address that, and levelling up gives us the best opportunity to do that. And so it is about really offering the skills, the opportunity and the aspiration that people need to be able to stay where they grew up and live and grow and contribute to where they grew up, which is really key for Cornwall.
And Jenny, they have a levelling up secretary, a levelling up white paper.
Yep.
More than Labour ever did.
They've got a big slogan, they've got a 400-page document. What they haven't got is any new ideas, any resources or any concrete plan. They don't say how they're going to achieve all of this. And as someone who's lived in Darlington for 41 years, bringing my kids up there, I've seen exactly what's happened since 2010. I want the skills, I want the aspiration, I want the ambition. But, you know, the Labour Party didn't call it levelling up and have a slogan. We just called it government. You've got to invest in every area of your country if you want to succeed as a nation. This government's failed to do it. They've taken money not just out of councils, but out of policing, out of health, out of schools, out of just about everything in terms of public services locally. It shows, and damn right they need to put this right. Unfortunately, what we've seen today isn't going to go anywhere near enough.
I mean, Derek, Jenny's point is that libraries have closed, police stations have closed, children's centres have closed.
Well,
is that a source of regret for you or any of those things?
Well, if you came to my constituency, you'd see at the moment about £100 million of investment, a lot even before the announcement today, targeted investment to really be able to lift up the area and to provide those opportunities. Libraries work in very different ways, so our libraries are still open, but they have a very different offer to as they did in the past. It isn't just about books now; it's about skills and opportunities and access to IT, for example. But actually, I think that if you look at the kind of money that is coming into, I've got 2 towns funds, I've got high street fund deals, I've got £48 million going to just the link between the Isles of Scilly, which is the Isles of Scilly, not the Scilly Isles. You'll get in terrible trouble on the Isles of Scilly if you call them the Scilly Isles.
I
made that mistake. So the Isles of Scilly is the link there. So actually, it's about targeted money that really helps sort out the problem. And where we probably differ with Labour is exactly what you just heard. It's not government, because actually government don't fix problems. They should enable things to happen and provide the opportunity.
Well, I agree
with that. That's absolutely where we are.
I do agree that it's about government being an enabling partner for local areas. And the issues that are about devolving as far as you possibly can to get better decision-making, absolutely agree with that. But what we're seeing is resources being allocated, limited as they are, but being allocated not according to need. So somewhere like Mid-Bedfordshire is doing very, very well out of these sort of town funds, levelling up funds, little pots of cash, because they're being asked to bid and decisions are being made actually in Whitehall a very long way from these communities. And what we want to see is decision-making being done according to need, as it should be, so that areas like mine in the North East do better. Because actually, look at what's happening in terms of women's life expectancy, in terms of progress with children at school, about attainment preschool. So when kids start school, they're starting off actually further behind than they used to. All of these things need urgent but long-term plans to address. And they're not going to do that with these little pots of cash that councils have to bid for, because it just you're hiding what the real fundamental problems are, and you're never going to level up unless you address those.